Okay, so the next topic is about curve fitting. Okay, so what is this all about? Assume that x1 y1, I'll have to write in your notes, x2 y2, x3 y3, and so on, x and yn. X and y1 be the given set of data points. Given set of data points. Given set of data points. Okay, so then the process of finding a suitable curve, suitable function, okay, a curve, suitable curve, okay, which best fits to the given data is called curve fitting. Okay, so that suitable curve can be linear curve, straight line curve, or parabolic curve, or cubic curve, or exponential curve, or logarithmic curve. Okay, so depending on the nature of the data points, okay, we identify a suitable curve, and that curve we try to such kind of curve we will find in such a way that it best fits to the given data. So what you mean by best fits to the given data means the difference between the this is the actual data, right? These are the real values. The difference between the real values and the expected values is the error. That error must be minimum. Okay, so we'll try to find out. So when the error is minimum, that means what the curve will be very much closer to the given data. So therefore, we say that the curve is a best curve. Okay. So see, this is the actual data. Okay. And what is the so if you are trying to find out y equal to f of x, okay. So let us say, let me draw the graph also here. Okay. So let us say this is x1 y1. Okay, so let's say this is x2 y2, x3 y3, x4 y4, x5 y5, and so on. Let us say x and yn. Let us say x and yn. So this is x and yn. This is x2 y2, and so on. Okay, so we are trying to find out. Okay, for that in the derivation we are trying to find out a linear curve. Okay, so let me draw a straight line curve. Okay, now just observe this point. Observe this point. Okay, so this is let us say this point is 1 2 3 4 x4 y4, x4 y4. Okay, now this is x4, this is x4, and this is y equal to f of x graph. This is y equal to f of x graph, which is a straight line, something like a0 plus a1x. So when you are trying to find out a line, so I will put this heading. Straight line fit. Okay, my side heading is straight line fitting. Straight line fitting. Okay, now what is the general form of a straight line? y equal to mx plus c, or I will write it as a0 plus a1x. Do you agree? Can I write like this? Y equal to mx plus c. M is a1, c is a0. I want to write it as a polynomial of degree 1. Is that fine? Which is nothing but a f of x. Okay. Now can you tell me where is the point x4 comma f of x4? Where is the point x4 comma f of x4? Here. Can you say that? This is the point x4 comma f of x4. X4 is given in the function. You are getting f of x4. This is the expected value, and y4 is the actual value. So there is a deviation between these two. There is a deviation between f of x4 and y4. Do you agree? These two are slightly different. The difference between these two is the error. If the error is less, then these 2 points will be close. As the error tending to 0, these 2 points are going to coincide. Am I right? Like that, there will be several errors. How many errors? Epsilon 1 is one error, which is the difference between f of x1 and y1. Epsilon 2 is the error between f of x2 and y2, and so on. Epsilon n is the difference between f of xn and yn. Okay, so we not only want to minimize error e4, we want to minimize all the errors e1, e2, and so on, en. Or instead of that, you take the sum of all errors. If that error is minimum, then the individual errors also will be minimum. Okay, so we want to compute an error. Okay, so let us assume that epsilon k is equal to, okay, let us say the difference between yk and f of xk, the difference between, or you may write like this, f of xk and yk, f of xk minus yk. Okay, so then you assume that, so what is k equals to 1, 2, and so on. There are n data points. So assume that the total error is epsilon equal to epsilon 1, or you may define like this, let epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 plus epsilon 2 plus and so on plus epsilon n. Okay, so if you can minimize this epsilon, then that means that the data may be closer to the given data points. But there is a problem here. Because these epsilons may be positive, negative. It can be because sometimes f of xk may be more than yk, or sometimes f of xk may be less than yk. So epsilon one value may be 0.2, epsilon 2 may be minus 0.2, epsilon 3 may be 0.1, epsilon 4 may be minus 0.1. If you are doing like this, okay, or at the end you may see that when you simplify all these things, you may see that sum of all the deviations may be 0. Do you think that there is no deviation at all from this?
No.
So that means it is not really giving us the required information, right? So taking some of the errors is not a good idea, because it may be more or less, or it may be 0 also. Okay, it is not really giving us any good kind of information. So instead of taking sum of errors, what can be done?
Modulus.
Yeah, modulus is one way that is good, but the point is modulus is not differentiable. This is good, but if I want to apply some calculus operations, this modulus may be a problem to me. You said modulus. Why? Because you want to make every epsilon into positive. What can be the other way of doing this instead of without using the
Squaring
modulus?
and
Yeah, that's right. Square it. Is it okay? So if I can minimize this error, that means the points will be very much closer. Do you remember we in the last semester we did maxima and minima to minimize the distance function. We minimize a d square function, square of the distance function. You remember? Find the point on the surface plane which is nearest to the origin. We did one problem. D equal to root of x square plus y square plus z square, but we took d square as f of x y z, which is x square plus y square plus z square. Agreed or not? Do you remember?
yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll try to minimize this error function. We'll try to find out a function. We'll try to find out a function f of x such that this epsilon is minimum. Okay, so what is that function? Uh, so what is the sum of squares of this function? So this is nothing but a summation k equals to 1 to n epsilon k square, epsilon k square. Okay, so this epsilon k square is nothing but a summation k equals to 1 to n. Epsilon k is what? Difference between f of xk and yk. Am I right? But what is f of xk? F of xk is nothing but a naught plus a1 into xk. Am I right? Right or wrong? So this is nothing but a summation k equals to 1 to n. Okay, so a naught plus a1 into xk minus yk whole square. So in this what are unknowns? In this expression what are unknowns? In this what is unknown? We don't know this equation, right? We want to find out this equation.
A
If
naught
you,
and A1.
so a naught and a1 are unknowns. So this whole thing is a function of a naught and a1. Do you agree? So let us say that this is g of a naught and a1. So what is our problem now? Our problem is to find out a naught and a1 at which g has a minimum value. Do you agree? That means we want to minimize the function g, and this is a function of two variables. And you know the method of finding the extreme point for a function of two variables we have seen in previous semester. Agreed or not? How do you find out stationary points for f of x comma y? Do you remember? How did we find stationary points? By solving the partial differential equations dou f by dou x equal to 0 and dou f by dou y equal to 0. Do you remember? For function of single variable, f dash of x equal to 0. For function of two variables, fx equal to 0, fy equal to 0. Do you remember? By solving those two equations, we identified the stationary points. Agreed? So, agreed or not? Did you
Yes,
remember it? Okay, so you just find out the those things. Okay, so solve. You find out dou g by dou a naught, dou g by dou a naught. Where is my dou g by dou a naught? Okay, and equate it to 0, and find out dou g by dou a1 and equate to 0, and try to find out a naught and a1. Okay, so when you are trying to find out dou g by dou a naught, so what is this one? Can you tell me? So that means what? Dou g by dou a naught of summation a naught plus a1 xk minus yk whole square equal to 0. Okay, so similarly dou by dou a1 of summation a naught plus a1 xk minus yk whole square. Okay, now what you do, you know derivative of the sum equal to sum of the derivatives. Derivative of the sum equal to sum of the derivatives. So take this derivative to inside the summation and simplify those things. Okay, so what is that derivative when I take the inside summation? Can I write it in the next step? So this implies that, okay, so you may call this as some star. So star implies, so can I write like say 2 times a naught plus a1x k minus yk, and you are differentiating with respect to a naught partially. So what is the partial derivative of this with respect to a naught? A naught derivative with respect to a naught is 1.
1.
A1 derivative with respect to a naught is 0, and this is a constant. This is also 0. So this is equal to 0. Do you agree? So I can bring this 2 outside. I can bring this 2 outside, divide with 2. So what is remaining? So when I take this summation to each of the term, when I take the summation to each of the term, what do you get? Summation a naught plus a1 into summation xk, because k summation is running over k. Remember, summation is running over k. a1 into summation xk equal to summation yk. I can take this minus yk, minus summation yk to right hand side. Okay, similarly when I am differentiating this with respect to a1, can you tell me what is that? Summation 2 times a naught plus a1 xk minus yk multiplied with what is this derivative with respect to a1? Xk. Do you agree? So into xk equal to 0. So when I take the summation inside and simplify, what do I get? I can divide with 2 again, so that will go. So that is a naught into sigma xk plus a1 into sigma xk square is equal to sigma xk yk. Do you agree? Okay, so what is sigma a naught? Can you tell me what is sigma a naught? Sigma a naught means what? A naught plus
A naught.
plus and so on plus a naught n times. Do you agree? Because k runs from 1 to n. Therefore, sigma a naught is nothing but n a naught. So this is nothing but n a naught plus a1 into sigma xk equal to sigma yk, and a naught into, okay, sigma xk into a naught, sigma, actually, okay, fine. We write generally like this only. Okay, a naught into let me click a naught into sigma xk plus a1 into sigma xk square equal to sigma xk yk. Sigma xk yk. Okay, so in this what is unknown is a naught and a1. You can find out sigma xk, you can find out sigma yk, you can find out sigma xk square, you can find out sigma xk yk. What you have to do is prepare a table. Xk is there, yk is there. Take the square of xk, you will get xk square. Okay, take xk into yk, you prepare one more table, you take sum of each column, then you will get sigma xk, sigma yk, sigma xi, sigma xi square, sigma yk square. So all are unknown, all are known except a0 and a1, except a0 and a1. What is this two equations together called? Can you identify this pair of equations? What are these two equations together called? System of linear equations only, no? It's a linear system of equations in the unknowns, a0 and a1. So you can input the coefficients to the calculator, non-homogeneous system, and you can get the values of a0 and a1. And they are going to be the stationary points, and theoretically you can prove that at a0 and a1 this function is going to be minimum. This function is going to be minimum. So minimum means what? That means we got a0 and a1 such that the sum of squares of the deviations is to the least. That means this is the best fit to the values of a0 and a1 that is so obtained by solving these two equations. For those values of a0 and a1, the equation of the line that you are getting is going to be the best fit to the given data. So this method is called a method of least squares. Okay, method of least squares, and this curve is called least squares curve. Okay, the least squares straight line. If you are finding a parabolic curve, that is called least squares parabola. If you are finding a exponential curve, that is called least squares exponential curve. Okay, so this process is called the method of least squares, and these set of equations are called normal equations. Very popular name. Okay, this system of linear equations are called normal equations. Okay, so I'll stop with this. So in the next class, okay, just write down in your notes, these are called normal equations. Okay, so in the next class what we do, we will be applying this method. We'll